Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, we'll tell you about what caused a Germany-bound airport to land in Syracuse.
And find out what the staff of the Oswego Fire Department had to say about responding to SUNY Oswego's excessive calls.
Plus, strong winds and hail on campus today caused a winter weather advisory in Oswego County. Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders will tell you what you need to know.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Riley Jones.
And I'm Honora Bullo.
A winter weather advisory has been issued throughout Oswego County, with winds reaching up to 50 miles per hour.
Lake effect snow is expected, as well as 3 to 6 inches of snow in the southern end of the county.
Let's take a first look at your forecast with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders. Brianna?
We currently are in a high wind warning. This is due to the winds that moved into our area after the cold front moved through. We're at sustained winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour, but gusts up to 60, even 70 miles per hour. We are also in a winter weather advisory due to the lake effect that has set up already and will continue to strengthen and form into a band. I'll have more details on the lake effect as we get into my full forecast, but for now, back to the desk.
Thanks, Brianna. The Oswego campus food and clothing pantry held a winter giveaway event in the Marano Campus Center earlier today. Students and local residents were able to get new coats, hats, gloves, and scarves, all completely free. For those who weren't able to make it to today's event but are still in need, the shop food pantry is still open Monday through Friday in the Lanigan Library basement.
SUNY Oswego is searching for remote research assistants, and applications are now open. Students of all majors are welcome to apply, and if selected, will receive a weekly payment of $450 for their involvement. If you are interested in applying, reach out to Professor Jennifer Kagan for more information.
The Oswego Town Fire Department is working to end its service on Oswego's campus. The fire department says the increased number of calls from the campus has become a burden to the staff and volunteers, from responding to 190 calls per year to now over 300 calls from just the college alone. The department still responds to calls from SUNY Oswego while they wait for the town board to discuss a solution.
Starting on March 1st, assessment disclosure notices will be mailed to all city property owners in the city of Oswego. These new disclosures will include a preliminary 2024 assessment along with a rough estimate of what last year's property taxes would have looked like under the new assessment. These notices are expected to reach roughly 7,000 people in the Oswego area.
The Richard S. Shinneman organization has started a grant round in an effort to enrich Oswego County. The grants are designed for local projects that prioritize the well-being of Oswego County. The foundation has invited organizations from all around to submit their own letter of inquiry to be considered for the grants. The final deadline for applications is April 12th.
In partnership with local committees, Fulton will plan to host a solar eclipse event this April 8th. The program, titled Total Eclipse of the Park, will have a bounce house, food truck, DJs, and educational solar eclipse content provided by the Fulton City School District. You won't want to miss this.
In state news, on Tuesday night, the Syracuse International Airport reported an emergency landing due to an engine failure. The Delta Flight 86 aircraft was headed from Detroit to Germany when a reported engine failure caused an in-flight emergency to be made. Fortunately, the unexpected landing reported no case of incidents and nobody was hurt.
New York State Democrats rejected a new bipartisan congressional district proposal during a meeting this Monday. Democratic lawmakers suggested their own map rather than sticking with the bipartisan independent redistricting commission's map, leading to some districts looking a bit more blue. While this is not unheard of for lawmakers to do, Democrats are playing it safer than some politicians have in the past.
Still ahead tonight, a pedestrian was shot by a man on a bicycle. How police apprehended the suspect.
Plus, a prominent senator is taking a step back. Why he made the decision. More on WTOP-10 after the break.
'76, back when the Earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty.
The thought of turkey is just nauseating.
I think you're wrong, is what I think.
You think I'm wrong a lot of time.
I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders, taking a look at our current risk. Right now, we're at a level 5 risk of power outages. This is because of the winds that have moved into our area. Our winds are at 20 to 30 miles per hour with sustained winds of up to 60, even 70 miles per hour at times. Again, this wind has already caused power outages in Oswego with up to 3,000 people affected and may cause more. And looking at our wind risk, again, it is at 5. This is due to the wind that has moved into our area, again, reaching up to 70 miles per hour. We are at a level 3 risk of ice. This is due to the rapid temperature change that has hit our area. That temperature change could cause a rapid freeze of anything that was on the ground, but it is not entirely possible. And taking a look at our lake effect risk, we are at a level 4. We are definitely going to get lake effect, but we're not sure if it's going to hit Oswego or not. And taking a look at our day planner, again at 9 a.m., we're looking at our temperature around 26 degrees. We're expecting some light snow from the lake effect that's going to clip the Oswego area, then move back away. That's at 9 a.m. And as we head into our afternoon, we're looking at 24 degrees with some overcast skies, and that continues into the evening hours. And taking a look at our future cast, we can see our cold front that has moved out of our area. That cold front brought some mixed precipitation, the high winds, and some lake effect behind it. And taking a look at our high pressure, the high pressure is going to push some wind into our area. It's going to push some more cold air. This is going to cause some lake effect. And as that lake effect sets up, we're going to see that band start to move into the area. That band's going to cause some intense periods of snow. And as that band starts to wiggle up and down, it clips our area before moving back towards the Onondaga County. And taking a look at our snowfall outlook, we're looking at a trace to an inch for most of New York, but where that lake effect is hitting, we are looking at 3 to 6 inches, even 6 to 12 inches in some areas, depending on where that lake effect clips. And looking at our lake effect snow impacts, again, it is extremely local and intense, so it really depends on where you are. You could be one town over and it could be clear skies, and where you are, it could be whiteout conditions. And it's very narrow and changeable bands, so that band really wiggles a lot. The wind direction plays a key role in how much that band will wiggle and move up and down. And the sun could be out, as I said, in the town over, or you could have whiteout conditions in other places. And looking at our mild air, it's going to start pushing that chilly air out of our area. And as that mild air moves through, our temperatures start to increase into the 50s, and that mild air continues to move into our area, bringing some warmer temperatures. And that hot air from around Texas is going to push up, and it's going to cause some more mild air. And as we look at our 7-day forecast, we're looking at 27 degrees tomorrow with some lake effect. Our temperatures increase, hitting even 56 degrees on Sunday before slowly decreasing, and our chance of rain starts to return. That's all for my full forecast. Now back to the desk.
Thanks, Brianna. A $1 billion donation makes tuition free for students at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in the Bronx. Starting this August, the donation from Dr. Ruth Gottsman, a former university employee, will decrease tuition from nearly $60,000 a year to $0. The donation was made possible by a stock portfolio left by her late husband. The gift breaks records as the largest donation to a medical school in history.
In national news, Michigan's primaries brought both President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump one step closer to a likely rematch in November. But the votes they didn't get sent a message to both candidates. Julia Benbrook shares insight into this Tuesday night's results.
Another commanding Republican primary win for Donald Trump. The former president received roughly 68% of the vote, helping solidify his path to the GOP nomination. Trump is already looking toward the general election.
I can tell you this, November 5th cannot come fast enough because our country's in serious trouble.
But his last remaining major primary opponent, former South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley, received just over a quarter of the vote on Tuesday, indicating a sizable group of Republican voters are either firmly opposed to Trump or still need to be won over.
This has become about one man when it should be about the American people. That's what we're fighting for.
The Michigan primaries also highlighted one of President Joe Biden's vulnerabilities. Even as Biden won more than 80% of the Democratic vote, some Democrats used their ballots as a form of protest against the president's response to the Israel-Hamas war in Gaza. More than 100,000 people voted uncommitted in the Democratic primary.
He needs to call for an immediate, permanent ceasefire, and he needs to stop funding the Israeli military's war crimes.
Biden put out a statement celebrating his Michigan victory, but did not mention the protest vote. A senior campaign advisor later sent out a message saying, quote, President Biden shares the goal of many of the folks who voted uncommitted, which is an end to the violence and a just and lasting peace. Reporting in Washington, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell will step down as the chamber's Republican leader in November, although he will continue to serve in the Senate. McConnell, who turned 82 last week, says he has total clarity and peace about stepping down and believes he's helped preserve the ideals he believes.
Father Time remains undefeated. I'm no longer the young man sitting in the back, hoping colleagues would remember my name. It's time for the next generation of leadership.
McConnell is the longest serving party leader in the Senate from either party.
A man on a bicycle shot a pedestrian in an unprovoked attack. At about 8:30 a.m. this morning, a gunman fired at least 5 shots at an East Carolina University employee. The shooter fled the scene, but was later intercepted by an officer. The suspect fired on that officer, who returned fire, along with two other responding officers. The suspect was not injured, but the man he first shot at sustained non-life-threatening injuries.
When WTOP-10 Nightly News continues, CNN reporter Mandy Gaither tells us how to cope with perfectionism.
And Walmart shoppers may be eligible for some money.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
Did you know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a closer with that one.
Matthew,
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
In consumer news, have you bought produce from Walmart between October 19th and January 19th? If you have, you may be eligible for some money from the company. A class action lawsuit against Walmart claims they have overcharged customers for weighted items. Walmart shoppers who bought weighted items between those dates can earn 2% on what they spent by submitting a claim. A final settlement approval hearing is set for June.
The U.S. Treasury Department has a new way to crack down the bad guys stealing from taxpayers. It involves using artificial intelligence to find unusual transaction patterns to stop check fraud. Officials say the focus on AI has led to multiple active cases and arrests. According to the Treasury, check fraud has surged 385% since the pandemic.
It's often linked to great achievements, awards, and accolades. But when a person struggles with a personality trait called perfectionism, it can have a dangerous impact on their mental health and even future success.
CNN reporter Mandy Gaither has more on the negative effects of trying to be perfect and how parents can help their children avoid perfectionism.
It can lead to great success, but also a fear of failure. Perfectionism is defined as a personality trait when a person sets unreasonably high standards and has unrealistic expectations for themselves. It's often coupled with intense self-criticism.
It really drives us into a place of constantly pushing to the point of extreme stress and overwhelming burnout.
Licensed psychotherapist Jody Baumstein with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta's Strong for Life program says children and teens need to hear that nobody is perfect and there's no expectation for them to be either. But she says parents need to remember the same.
So if we make a mistake, we can't be overly critical and beating ourselves up. We need to respond with patience and compassion and teach them how to work through a mistake.
Parents can also help by focusing on a child's effort, not the outcome.
So they bring home their report card with all A's, and what do we say? We praise them for getting all A's. But now they're focused just on the outcome. So instead what we want to do is actually focus on effort. I'm proud of how hard you worked this year.
Finally, Baumstein says for parents to talk about the difference between I failed and I'm a failure.
So when they think I failed, well, then they're motivated. They see that this is a moment in time, it's temporary, it's something everybody experiences, and there's something they can do better next time.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
If your child already struggles with perfectionism and is having trouble with the intense self-criticism, Baumstein says help see themselves positively by asking themselves what they say to a friend. She says a lot of times it's easier for us to be kind, compassionate, and patient to others rather than ourselves.
Coming up, Matt Sharamita has your sports report.
Matt, what's going on in high school hoops?
Well, guys, the stage is set for the Section 3 Class AA Championships. A look into yesterday's semifinals after the break.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
Al Roker.
We're here for you, we're here for you. This is your channel 2. With sports and news and what to do, we're here for you. It's your TV, you're watching WTOP. Your TV, thanks for watching WTOP.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
No.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Yeah, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a closer with that one. Matthew.
Broadcast news.
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
Oswego State Swim and Dive makes a splash during SUNYACs and some high school hoops at the highest voltage. Welcome back to WTOP-10. I'm Matt Sharamita with your electric Wednesday night sports report. This past weekend was a heartbreaker for the Oswego faithful as all teams have been eliminated from SUNYAC championship contention. However, for Oswego State Swim and Dive, some hardware has been collected as Zachary Brown dominated the breaststroke, collecting some hardware and re-breaking records along the way. WTOP-10 sports reporter Mike Neckers has a look from the jam-packed weekend.
This past weekend, the Oswego State men's and women's swimming and diving teams traveled to Buffalo for their annual SUNYAC Championships meet. Both teams found great success, bolstering more than 50 individual best times in events across the 4 days. For the men's team, Zach Brown was the man to watch. He finished his 100 breaststroke in first with a time of 55.21, a school, conference, and meet record. Brown didn't stop there, though, as his 200 breaststroke broke yet another school record and was good enough for a silver medal. Another standout swimmer on the men's side was Matt Dambra, who broke the school record in the 100 backstroke with a time of 53.24 seconds. Dambra also finished 8th in the 50-yard freestyle with a time of 21.77 seconds. The women's team excelled as well, as Izzy Daig finished in 3rd place in the 400 IM. Daig also finished 5th in the 1650-yard freestyle and 7th in the 200-yard backstroke. Jana Laferriere also swam very well, finishing 7th in the 50 freestyle, 8th in the 100 freestyle, and 6th in the 200 freestyle. With everything said and done, the men's team finished in 5th place and the women's team in 4th, as the Lakers completed their once again successful season. I'm Mike Meckers with WTOP-10 Nightly News.
This concludes the season for the Oswego State swim and dive team. The women finishing 4-3 and the men 3-1. They look to start the recruitment for the 2024-2025 season. But how about we move from the pool over to the hardwood as we head to Liverpool High School. The #1 seed West Genesee Wildcats versus the #4 seed Fulton Red Dragons to start off Section 3 AA semifinals. We're going to start 5 to go, second quarter. It's Sincere Smith-Drayler. Here we go. The drive, the kick, and then the shot. Jalen Zachary, his only 3 of the game, but give him 13 points in this one. We're going to go Fulton now. Tyler Ditton, the inbound, right back to him from the corner. And Ditton, man, can he shoot threes? How about 88 threes this season for that man right there? The Wildcats, they're working with the lead in the first, and this is something they emphasized all night. Swinging the rock around. You see inside, down low, Sincere. How about 36-24 to end the first half? And hey, here's some familiar faces. Oswego State's Brennan Fitzpatrick and Jake Pritchard. You wonder why they got SUNYAC coaching staff of the year? Here you go. It's Oswego commit Gary McLean inside, off the steal into Sincere. 20/20 eyesight, 23 points for Sincere off the strong finish. Fulton dealing with the 20-point deficit. How about Gavin? Dot him up, Doty. The pull-up 3. Fulton trying to claw back into this one, but it's going to be Colton Castrello inbound corner 3, and that's the dagger. West Jenny punching their ticket, an 89-59 final score. You don't see 30-point blowouts like that in high school hoops all the time. We're going to move on now to game 2. Nottingham starting them young. We got the number 3 ranked Bulldogs, taking on the number 2 ranked Syracuse Science Academy Adams. This matchup, it's going to be out of the world. Let's start now, first quarter. First buckets for the Adams. It's Andre Pasha, the pull-up jumper from the elbow. Better get used to that name because just one play later, how about another one for Pasha? A deep 3 ball. Adams on an early 5-4 lead in this one. The Bulldogs, they're going to look to answer. Let's go. Daquan Williams, how the heck are you? Another deep 3 shot. That's 10 points in this one for Williams. Just a few plays later, Denarius goes delirious. Come on, just look at those handles. And the pull-up from the elbow. Finish it off, young man. McCurdy with 15 points in the night. And the Adams, they need a big bang right now. Will they get it? Yes, they will. Joseph Chico, that's a catalyst right there, ladies and gentlemen. And with every action comes an equal reaction. Let's do it again. The Adam bomb from Chico. He gets 6 in this one. Nottingham now. They work inside, and it's going to be McCurdy. Elevate and celebrate, young man. A little hang time as well. Let's do another one. This time, stay on Jones. A little bit, just like the mascot on his chest right there. That's a dog. And Stayhan Jones. How about the Adams? Thon Chall, corner 3. And Chall, you were my ghost all along. They win this one 52-44. They meet West Jenny on Saturday at 11:30 at Onondaga Community College.
Thank you, Matt. Stick around for some positive news coming up after the break.
What's going on?
Yeah, dude, we go on at like 11:30. It's like
no.
What do you mean no?
It's 10:30.
10:30?
Matt, it's 10:30.
What do you mean it's 10:30?
Hey, don't touch that. That's my ladder.
Hey, man.
Whoa.
You know this book was already discounted 10%?
Wow. Get a closer with that one.
Broadcast news.
Look at that.
Can we go back inside? I want to sleep in the studio again.
We'll deep dive into our feelings in our Real Talk segment. Stay tuned because it's about to get real.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning.
Welcome back. This week's Pet of the Week is Talia. Talia is a small adult feline looking for her forever home.
Although she is new to the shelter, Talia is gentle and calm. She would prefer a quieter home. If you're interested in adopting her, she's currently available at the Oswego County Humane Society.
That's our report for tonight.
Be sure to stay tuned for Mike and Logan Unplugged.
Thank you for watching.
Have a great night, everyone.